Ladies, this one's for you. If you've been listening to Limp Bizkit, break stuff on repeat. Maybe a little Rage Against the Machine, some Ani DeFranco. Yes, I want to talk menopausal rage, and it is a real thing. Sometimes it's irritability. If you're feeling irritable, this video is still for you. But if you're really in that rage, I made this video for you because it is really a real thing. I'm Dr. Nancy. I'm the midwife of Midlife. I'm a psychologist by training, but in this online coaching space, I make resources for women like you to help you use the challenges of midlife and menopause as a catalyst for change so you can up-level your life and live vibrantly and in happiness and joy into your 90s and beyond. And my cat is joining us in this video. So rage, when we're in it, it can be so hard. It can be one of the most difficult parts of menopause, right, Kat? My clients come in and they say, I can deal with the hot flashes. I can deal with the crying jags, but this rage, this intense rage scares me and it makes me afraid I'm going to do something that I regret. And sometimes my clients do things they regret. I haven't had anyone like do anything really bad, but definitely like snapping and flying off the handle and saying things they regret. And if this is you, hopefully this video can put it in perspective and give you a few tips of what to do with that. Plus, I've even made a little guided meditation for you that I'm going to put a link in the description below that you can listen to help you connect with your rage, soothe your rage, and learn how to care for your rage like it is a child tantruming, because that's how we need to deal with all of our cute little emotions. So let's talk about why this rage exists from a physical perspective. So estrogen and serotonin are like in cahoots with each other in our system. Estrogen obviously is a hormone. Serotonin is a neurotransmitter whose primary function is to help us to regulate our mood and our temperature and other things like that. So when estrogen starts to decline, it messes up our serotonin system, creating these mood swings, and anger is just a part of that. In addition to that, heat affects our serotonin system. So you might notice I'm releasing this in July because it's hot as balls in a lot of the country. And when we are hot as balls, our serotonin gets impacted as well. And it can make us angrier and more irritable, and the people around us more angry and irritable. But also think about it. Hot flash means our body is internally hot. So that can create these rage feelings as well. So that is all from a physical perspective. But let's talk about it also from a situational perspective. Like, we're aging. That's not fun. And a lot of things about our aging process makes us super uncomfortable, from the hot flashes that I just talked about to the mood swings, which makes us feel off kilter and dysregulated and, blows our confidence, to our physical symptoms. Sometimes we can have pain that's so bad in our bodies that we can't do the things we love to do. And that pisses us off. Not to mention the weight gain, like the frustration around gaining weight and not being able to take it off. That's super annoying, right? So that, and then we're also raising teenagers, a lot of us, right? And that is a difficult and challenging and uncomfortable experience. And they're having their own hormone fluctuations. So it can make them and us like just at each other's throats. And our teenagers can be real assholes sometimes, and they can make us feel like shit about ourselves. And that can enrage us, right? Or they just do dumb stuff. Like, I get mad at my teenager for like cooking and leaving the dishes out. Why do I always have to be the one that cleans up after him? Like, on one hand, I'm super excited that he's cooking, but on the other hand, why do I always have to clean up his crap? So that kind of stuff And then some of us are caring for our parents, and that can deplete our resources. And a lot of the women that I work with, this isn't necessarily true for me, but a lot of the women that I work with come from households that were abusive and neglectful. And they are finding themselves in a position where they have to care for parents that did a crappy job of caring for them. And it like creates this additional resentment of like, why should I have to do this for you when you sucked at doing it for me? Um, well, I'm grateful that my parents were pretty good at caretaking, and they live far away, so I don't even have to take care of them. I would take care of them if I could, but they're not even here. So the third thing is probably been stuffing our anger our whole life because we were taught from the time we were 5 that nice girls and good girls don't get angry. So every time we felt angry, we just shoved it down as much as possible. Or if we didn't shove it down, we ended up feeling so guilty for acting so inappropriately, for being irritable or being honest about how we were feeling, that we're in the habit of shoving it down. Like I always say, literally, if I had $1 for every time a woman walked into my office and said, "Oh, I'm not angry," I would be rich because we are all taught to not feel that emotion. And so when it comes out, it's like this pressure cooker has been building up our whole life, and suddenly we don't have the serotonin to help us regulate it anymore. So it comes out in spades in these awkward, messy, like isolating type situations where we're embarrassed later because this isn't not the people we want to be, but it actually is kind of authentic. So, not to mention, we live in a society that has a million reasons to be angry, right? I mean, pick your senseless war of choice. There's a million reasons to be angry. Pick your disadvantaged cause of choice, your disadvantaged people who are being oppressed of choice. It's endless. People from disabilities, people who are transgender, people who are, have alternative ways of loving or different sexual identities. All of these people are being oppressed, not to mention people of color, people of all different types. And then we're being oppressed ourselves. Like all the ways men and women have been oppressed, sexualized, forced into stereotypical roles, abused, mistreated, underrepresented, minimized, all of that stuff seems to be like rearing its ugly head again in our society. The gains that we made in previous generations feel like they're being lost. And there's no way you can't have rage about that. Even my cat agrees. Also, the ways corporations have put profits ahead of health, our health, society's health, human rights, and even our beautiful planet and the climate change. Like if that doesn't piss you off, I don't know what would, right? And then there's all the personal ways that you've been abused, misunderstood, taken advantage of, and mistreated in your life. That maybe you were too busy taking care of your kids and trying to build your career and, getting that college degree, trying to find a mate, back in our 20s when we were in college, the child rearing years. There was a lot of stuff that made us super busy that distracted us from the anger and rage that we could have been feeling, right? So again, we stuffed it. So I'm going to leave you, like, I have a quote from Maya Angelou that I want to share. It says, "You should be angry. Use that anger. You write it, you paint it, you dance it, you march it, you vote it. You do everything about it. You talk it, and you never stop talking it." And I think that's what this video is about, is to inspire you not to suppress this anger, but to write it out and to learn how to use it for good, not only for your own rights, your own leadership role, but also in your family, in your community, in society as a whole. The more women in menopause silence this rage and anger, the less things are going to change. But the more we can bring it out and express what's really pissing us off, the better society is going to be, I believe. So, with that, let's talk about a few suggestions and strategies of things you can do to help this rage experience, because I know it's hard to sit with and I know it can be isolating because we feel like we're not fit for public consumption when we're in this irritable, rageful state. It's almost like we want to stay in bed and not be around the people that we love. So, things you can do. Number one, exercise. Exercise has been shown to help regulate serotonin, boost our mood, and also, depending on what kind of exercise you do, my menopausal exercise of choice, perhaps you know, is kickboxing and boxing. And that, like, punching the bag really helps me move through these uncomfortable feelings of rage. And so I would highly recommend checking out martial arts, or even just shadow boxing, putting on music and shadow boxing, or maybe for you it's dancing or running. I would recommend doing exercise that actually makes you sweat, which might be a little bit more hardcore than just walking, in order to help those feelings of rage. Another thing you can do is to really dial in your diet and cut out things like alcohol and caffeine, which have been shown to alter serotonin levels and, um, you know, the term hangxiety, the day after consuming alcohol. A lot of times we don't sleep well that night, so that makes us more irritable, and then it messes with our neurotransmitter system, which makes us more likely to be irritable and unpleasant and just feel bad about ourselves the next day. So keep that in mind. Eliminating all like processed food that might contain any hormone disrupting chemicals in it. So stay away from the middle aisles of your grocery store and try to eat only, fresh produce and, fresh meats. That can really help with helping to stabilize your mood and help decrease the feelings of rage and irritability. And also having a mindfulness practice where you can connect with that rage in your body, and maybe connect with when you're breathing into your rage rather than just thinking thoughts. It can really help you to tune into what your anger is asking for at an authentic level, and use that to create from that place of rage, which is hopefully what this meditation is going to help you do, that I've linked below. And trying to think if I forgot anything. Oh, you can begin to think of your rage as a part of you. So when you're angry, instead of saying, I'm angry, you might experiment with trying, a part of me is experiencing murderous rage right now because of this, this, and this. But the rest of me knows that this, and this, so that you don't become your anger. Your emotion is just an experience that you're having in this moment. So the more you can get in touch with all of your emotions as being different parts of yourself and learning to respond to these different parts, the more you can take care of these emotions within you, almost like your emotions are inner children that you're here to reparent. So I really hope that helps. If you resonated with this, please subscribe, like the video, and please feel free to comment below what you're most angry about, and if this video helped, and also if you tried the meditation. And I will see you in the next video. Thanks so much for watching.